Hi, it's Abbey Dyer-Eminet. Welcome back to another episode of the Lead with Positivity Vodcast, where every week we bring in amazing female entrepreneurs to talk about their stories and how they're showing up big in their communities and putting ideas into action. Today, I want to welcome Alexandra Skinner Walsh to the show. We're going to jump right in and tell me a little bit about you and your business.
Yeah, so my business is called the S.M.A.R.T Therapy, and it is a therapy practice in Bettendorf, Iowa, that we serve because of telehealth laws. We serve people across the state of Iowa, and we also have clinicians who are licensed in Illinois. So we also see clients in Illinois as well. And I've really made it my mission to support and empower other therapists to be their authentic self in the therapy room in order to help their clients. I believe that when we are our authentic self, we open the doors for other people to be their authentic self. And that's how we create a world filled with much more compassion and kindness and acceptance. And so for me, the vehicle of doing that is through supporting other therapists, working with some really amazing clients of mine to be able to do that.
Telemedicine is pretty amazing.
Right?
We definitely had it prior to COVID, but with the state and change in the world, it really has opened up the opportunity for that, which I think gives a lot of people additional access to healthcare, which is fantastic.
Yeah, let's hope we keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, what is your greatest inspiration and why?
Oh man, that's a really great question. I would say probably my greatest inspiration for my practice and for being an entrepreneur and not just following the path paved for me is probably my mom. She wasn't an entrepreneur herself, but she very much was a woman in a very high position at a very big company. And while growing up, I didn't always know all the information and all the struggles that came with. I saw her work hard. I saw her bust her butt every day. And I saw her lead with, which is why I really love the name of what you're doing, is she led with positivity and she led with empowering other people. And she showed how to be a strong, independent business woman. I'd say it's definitely her.
I love that. And that can definitely be challenging, right?
Yes.
Then or now.
Yes.
So speaking of challenges, as a female entrepreneur, you are balancing a lot of different things. So tell me a little bit about your biggest challenge or struggle since you started your business.
Man, there's so many struggles when it comes to owning a business. What's the biggest? I would say balancing personal life with professional life. And that for me, that could be being a business owner as well as being a therapist. So being able to balance being present and at home for my family and being all the things that they need me to be for them. And the way I want to show up for them with being present for my business. Because as I'm sure you know, it's like a baby. It's like another baby that requires things from you. But being able to show up for my business and show up for my clients, that's been, I think, the biggest challenge.
That's a good one. Speaking of you and your family, and you have a really good story, I think, in terms of what happened as you decided to kind of take a different path for yourself. So share a little bit of that with us.
Yeah. So I was in community mental health. I was in an agency setting, and I knew I wanted to be a private practice. I knew I wanted to be in private practice. So for me, the path to doing that was first starting out solo and then building my business from there. So I decided I was going to take the jump. I was going to, totally was going to do it. I put in my notice at my community mental health agency job. I was going to quit. And I had 2 weeks, and a week after I put in my notice to the day, I found out I was pregnant, and I was petrified. I was so scared. My husband was so excited, and I was excited, but I was scared. I was like, what am I doing? What am I getting myself into? This is too much. And so that was one of the most terrifying experiences so far. And then when I decided to expand my practice and bring on other clinicians, I found out about, like 4 or 5 months ish after that I was pregnant again. And so my business has just kind of mirrored as my business grows, so does my family, apparently.
I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing. So we talked about challenges, right?
Yes.
And as a business owner, you definitely have them. What would you say is your biggest win as a female entrepreneur?
I would say just doing it. I mean, just being here. We know statistically women don't take the jump. That more women do not pursue entrepreneurial career paths out of fear or what we've been told, or demands that are on us. And so I think the biggest win is I did it and I'm doing it, and I'm struggling some days and I'm thriving other days, but each day I'm showing up and I'm doing it. And I think that in and of itself is a huge win for myself and for any woman out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Showing up is a big deal. There's a lot to be said just for showing up.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about your business, about your programs, about the therapists that work with you. Do you have a particular focus? Give us a little insight into what that's like.
Yeah. So my practice is made up of myself and 5 other therapists. And we're still expanding and still growing, looking for other therapists. But we are all, I think, a big value for the MAD therapy is that it is a place of acceptance and celebration of differences. And so all the therapists here are LGBTQ friendly, are LGBTQ affirmative, and can work with clients of various backgrounds and cultures and spaces. And so because of that, each therapist kind of has their own specialty. So one of the therapists here, Susan, specializes in working with LGBTQ individuals as well as first responders and helping treat anxiety. We have another therapist here, Nikki, who specializes in working with kids and teens. We have another therapist here, Kelly, who specializes in working with men's issues. So even within the realm of we're all LGBTQ friendly and affirmative providers, we all specialize in different things. For myself, this means working with women to help overcome some of these scripts we've been given to be able to step into our power and own who we are, even if that's different from woman to woman. It's also dealing with some of the struggles of postpartum and being a mom and juggling a career and being a mom.
All incredibly important things.
Yeah.
And women absolutely need support, and the LGBTQ plus community doesn't get it everywhere. So I think that is amazing that you all are really open and supportive in that way. So how about the number one thing you would want to share with other female entrepreneurs, either as they're starting their journey, or maybe they're in their journey and they're having one of those, kind of, why am I doing this? Or did I make the right decision kind of days? What kind of advice would you give?
I'd say just keep going. Keep going. This is gonna pass, whatever it is, whether it's the fear of starting, this is gonna pass, whether it's the anxiety or the overwhelm of why am I doing this, it's going to pass. Keep going and remember all those moments that you're doing it for. Remember your why. If you need to, write it down somewhere. Have a folder on your computer of all the time somebody said something that reminded you of this is why I'm doing it. So that way you don't lose sight in those moments that are really tough, because they're going to come. So if you're going into it with the expectation that every day is going to feel like you're thriving, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're going to have so many moments where you're like, I suck. I'm doing terrible. I'm failing, but you're not. I promise you're not. Just keep going.
Absolutely. Great advice. So I'm interested in the field that you're in.
Yeah.
And so how you would define a success mindset.
So I guess from my point of view, a success mindset is just being able to give yourself the flexibility to ebb and flow with the seasons of life, the seasons of business that you're going to go into. And there are going to be times you make mistakes and you mess up and you make failures. And those are all going to be used, hopefully, right, as stepping stones to continue to grow and do better. That's success for me. Success isn't about failing. Success is about taking the failures you're going to have and the mistakes you're going to make and turning them into lessons learned to continue to help you be better.
Absolutely. They are such opportunities,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
That is really the best way to look at it.
Yes.
So it's been a challenging year or two. I keep saying year, but it's actually been almost two since
Right.
the world's been a little topsy-turvy. So tell me what helps keep you stay motivated during some of these difficult times.
For me, it's focusing on my why. For me, it's focusing on why I'm doing this and reminding myself of all the feedback I've gotten that reinforces that, yes, this is why I'm doing it. So whether it's from a clinician telling me I feel safe in the space, I can show up as myself, or I've grown into myself as a therapist in a way I didn't know. And I'm able to do these things that I didn't think I was capable of, or I didn't know I wanted to do, has been really rewarding, as well as getting feedback from their clients about, this is a space I feel safe in. I've never felt this way before in a counseling office before, or from my own clients that I've made a difference in some way to them, no matter how small in their journey. All those things are my reminders as to why I continue to do this and why I continue to show up.
Absolutely. I'm curious, is there a particular inspiration or reason that you ended up in the LGBTQ plus space?
Yeah, so there's quite a few, to be honest. So one, my dad is gay. And so that played a huge role in my life in terms of, I was old enough to remember him coming out and watching the impact of that with his family and how they responded, how they've continued to respond today. And all the unnecessary pain it caused for himself. And as a result, no matter how much him and my mom tried to shield it, it caused everyone else. I also went to school. I started my whole career actually as I went to school for theater, performing arts. And so the cliche tends to be true. There is a lot of diverse people in the theater community. And so I got to meet a lot of amazing individuals, and I just learned about them and the struggles they have had coming out as trans or as gender nonconforming or as gay or as lesbian or whatever. And so much of it to me just seems so completely unnecessary, the amount of pain that they've gone through. And so I am not in a part of the LGBTQ community, but this is my way to show up as an ally through action.
Absolutely. And I am a tremendous supporter of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I love that. And I think it is amazing that you have created a safe space for people who often don't feel a safe space.
Yes.
So I think
Right.
that's amazing. All right. Last piece of advice you would give other female entrepreneurs.
I would say, I think the biggest thing I've had to learn, and that I think would have been really helpful if someone had just spelled it out for me, is you're going to get a lot of feedback about the way you're running your business, about the way you should be running your business, about the way that you need to run your, whatever. You're going to get a lot of feedback about you and your business. And my biggest tip, I wish someone had spelled out for me, was that the best thing you can learn to do is to be open enough to hear the feedback you're given and critical enough to decide if it's really yours to take in and do something with, or if it's somebody else's stuff that is for them to carry with them on whatever journey they're on.
I think that is incredibly insightful advice. So thank you. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and sharing you and your business and the great things that you're doing. How can people get in touch with you?
You can find out more about myself or the Mad Therapy at themadtherapy.com or on Instagram with the handle The Mad Therapy.
I love it. I love the name. It's fantastic.
I love it as well. It's so fun.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining the Lead with Positivity Vodcast, where female entrepreneurs who are doing really big things in their community come here and tell their stories as only they can. If you liked this one, please subscribe and we'll see you next time. Thank you.